hello, Pittsburgh.
That's how you do it.
And the surrounding counties. Haha, Richard, I took your line.
Damn it!
How did you find the one shady spot on the stage?
Thank you. I don't know, maybe aim the lights too high. It'll still hit you in the face. Damn it! Eccles, were you stretching? Well, I didn't know you went from doing a big stretch to just simply getting like in third position.
It's the old calf stretch, man. That's as far as I can go.
You can tell this is hiatus. There's like the stretch is like.
It's one of the things. All right.
Good job.
Feel the burn.
Feel the burn, baby. I'm gonna say my line anyway. I don't care what jerk stole it. Pittsburgh and the surrounding counties. Please, a big hello to Jensen and Jared Padalecki.
Thank you, gentlemen. And Spade.
No. How's everybody feeling?
So, as is obvious to everybody, we haven't worked since the finale. So, a little beardy, a little.
Notice Alex had a little bit of growth there.
Yeah.
Did you grow up so fast?
Did you pull it to make sure it was actually his?
It's not his.
I think it might be glue on, or I'm just jealous. It's my jealousy speaking. Thanks for having us back, guys. We had a great time. Yeah. He had obviously spent some time in Pittsburgh before I had, since he shot my buddy Valentine here. Had a lot of good things to say about the city. And so I'm happy to have been here, 3 times now?
Yes. I'm gonna go with yes.
Yes is good. 50-50. It's hard to get.
Yes for 200. Without
further ado.
There you go.
Let's start.
You want to go there? You want to go over here? You want to go over there? Let's go over here. We can do there. Let's start over.
Yeah, over here.
One more.
We'll go. No, let's. Okay.
Go back to it.
Okay, well, if you wanna. All right.
All right.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, I'm Taylor.
Hi, Taylor.
I love you both so much. I watched the show since I was little.
How little?
I don't know, since you guys first came out, and right now I'm 18.
So 5. That's awesome. He's gonna need some help up. His hips are back. Thank you. Thank you, Taylor. We love you back.
Alright, my question is, if you could be anyone else on the show for a whole day, who would you be and why?
I mean, if I could be anybody for a whole day, I would be Castiel, because it means I have the day off.
And he means even when he's working.
That was my joke. You don't get a rim shot for explaining the joke.
No, it was just a follow-up joke. That is currently on the cast?
Yes.
Well, currently on the cast, we've killed so many people. I have a lot of good answers, but they're all dead. I would be, that's a good question. While we think about it, who would you be?
Wait, I know! Baby. I mean, you think about it, he just, she just kind of sits around and gets pampered all day long. It's pretty great. No, leave it.
I'm gonna leave that one.
If you could be anybody on the cast, who would you be?
I think I would want to be you, actually.
You have
Because then she
great
gets to look at
taste.
me.
Yeah, actually, you don't want to be me. Thank you, Taylor.
You're welcome.
I think, honest to God, I'm teasing Castiel, but I think it would be fun to be Castiel. I've sort of been some version, I've been Lucifer, and it's a lot of fun. I've explored that. I've been a soulless version of myself and a hell version of myself. I haven't been able to explore what the relationship would be like with Sam and Dean if I were a beloved party that wasn't a family member or Gadriel. You know, I've been an angel before, but Gadriel had ulterior motives. It'd be fun to help out the as a Winchester. I think it'd be fun to help the Winchesters out with no agenda. So I think I'd probably go with Cass.
Somebody asked him if he knew what hair products you use. So, what hair products do you use? I mean, Jensen, you can answer too. What hair products do you use?
Why would I know?
No, like your
I
own
know.
hair.
I use shampoo, conditioner, and beanie. And, I actually did. So I say this a lot. I haven't paid for a haircut in 13 years. And that's not bragging by any means, but I just don't cut it during the summer. And then there are people who are paid to cut it, not by me, during the season. So I haven't really gone and had it cut in a long time.
But you don't. What? I just realized what I'm talking about now. You don't use hair product outside of the show.
Not really, no.
But Jen does put something in your hair for Sam.
Yeah, not Genevieve, Jen, our hairstylist. Yes.
What is that?
I don't know.
You look at it every single day.
Never look at it once. I really have
I mean, to be fair, it's sitting in front of me every day too, and I've never looked at it either.
I think Sam uses some products. So Jared, I literally just I started getting. So I have a large forehead. I call it a 5 head, and so I had a early. I had a quarter life crisis where I was like, am I going bald? I don't think I'd ever seen my forehead. And I finally looked at one time, I was like, what happened to all my hair? And so I got nervous and I started using the shampoo called Nioxin, which helps your scalp or something. And so I literally just use shampoo and conditioner and get out of the shower and dry off and throw a beanie on, even in like the 100-degree Texas summer. And people look at me like I'm a weirdo. Like it's definitely, I mean, my SPN family gets it, I wear beanies, but when you're in Texas and it's like 105 degrees outside and you're walking around in a beanie, I mean, I could walk around with a gun and people would be less scared of me. I mean, it's like the crazy.
I'd say is that I've never met anybody more committed to winter headgear.
That's fair. But I know something does get used for Sam. I just don't know what it is. I should probably find that out. I'm so sorry.
I'm not, this is not a word of a lie, but I'm so stupid. I think she uses mousse.
That is the first time in my life that has ever occurred to me that she probably uses mousse. By the way, coming to a drugstore near you next month is Moose.
Hi there.
Hi. My question is, if you could add all of the miles the Impala has ever driven, how many miles do you think it would be? Like
Even before we took it over? Like when Dad was driving it?
yeah.
Dad bought it
because He
used.
drove it for a while, and he did buy it used, so it already had some miles on it.
Oh, there's no telling.
Is it
Hundreds of thousands.
Question, is it referred to at the end of season 5 when Benedict is narrating about the car and this and that? Doesn't he say like after 150,000? Didn't he say something? Doesn't he say something? He might not, you know? It wasn't mine. I see. It wasn't the mileage. Thank you. I don't know. It'd be probably $500,000 at least.
I do know that the one that I drive, it just says 99999.
Or 666.
That's car number 3. Yeah, it would have to. I mean, just the amount of cross country back and forth that the brothers have put on it for over the past 13 years would be hundreds of thousands. So I don't know. It's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
It's a lot.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully we get like hundreds of thousands more.
Oh yeah,
So
I hope
y'all
so
keep
too.
watching.
Just keep driving back and forth. That's all you need to do.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Sam. Thanks, Sam.
When Sam was soulless and that vamp turned Dean, why did he have like a little shit-eating grin on his face when he's supposed to be emotionless because he's soulless? But it was a more like a satisfying like smile.
Liberty, that's just the way I look. Have you ever seen, this
Well,
isn't,
yeah, you're
this isn't a blank
beautiful,
canvas.
but,
No.
you know.
Thank you. But I think even when I sleep, I'm like this. So that is me being as neutral as possible. I still look like a little mischievous.
I figured it was maybe like a part of you thought like, hey, now he's the freak in the family, not just me. I thought maybe that was it. No?
Interesting. I think.
Sorry, Dean.
I think if anything, it was almost if there was a reason.
I'm a
that wasn't-
freak.
Super freak.
I love our inner freak. So, if anything, I feel, trying to remember back to season 6, I think what it was more of the calculation of, oh, let's see where this goes, as opposed to wanting something
to
to
see
die
if
or
you
be
get,
turned.
like, the
It was
alpha
more like a
man.
new, it's almost like when you see somebody who loves skiing down mountains or something, and they see a run, and they're almost excited by the challenge. I think for Soulless Sam, it was like, oh, cool, a new equation I have to solve, or I get to solve, a new opponent I get to face. Oh, you play chess, I play chess too, let's do it. Like, cool, like this is gonna be fun. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think it was more, he was almost emotionally removed, and it was more the excitement of the literal quest, in my opinion. That and my face.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So the combination of the two. Thank you, Liberty.
Thank you.
I just assumed you were watching cat videos. And
I'm always watching cat videos.
Hello.
Are we sure we're bringing cats back? Oh, come on now, I'm teasing. Or am I? I'm teasing. What's that? Says you. He's not dead, just recast.
well, cat's out of the bag.
Cass out of the bag.
I guess for Dean, I'd like to see him come back.
But, a big, honest but. Somebody somewhere is here for a different convention, walking past, going, what did that guy just say? Did he say a big, honest but? Honestly, I would love to see Dean come back, but man, I want to see Michael Dean for several episodes. Like, let's do it. Even if we do too many episodes of Dean as Michael, we could always just do season 15 to get more Dean, you know? So,
The burning question is, because Christian playing Michael,
That's awesome.
he had a beard.
He did.
Lucky you.
So get rid of it. No, yes, I don't know, everyone. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, why not?
Hey, I like it a lot.
We'll see.
Yeah, I'd like to see a lot of Dean as Michael. I'd like to see a bit. I would like to see Sam take the at least hopefully temporary absence of his brother as an opportunity to teach Jack what Dean taught Sam, you know, and kind of their ways of the world. And I'd like Cass to be there to bring us whatever we need to eat. Maybe help us if we have to teleport somewhere. He'd be useful.
Laundry.
Lingerie. No.
That took a weird turn.
Or did it? Yeah. So and I'd like to see, you know, there's a lot of tough love between Sam and Dean and Cass and Jack now. So I'd like to see them really come together to unite against a common enemy to save their common buddy. Get Jack laid. Are we casting? Is that what's going on?
All right, ladies, take it easy.
Someone over there just yelled,
He's 1 year old.
season 32, when he's 18, we're gonna get him a girlfriend, or a boyfriend, whatever he wants. A nephrine, what would you call a nephilim friend?
I love you, Jared.
I love you too.
Sorry, Jensen, I love you too.
We all love you.
So,
Took
working
him down, but he bit me in the process.
Why didn't you call one of us? Where's your process?
Until
That Tennessean for taint?
That little space between the...
Yeah.
I think that's the process.
Got it.
I got bit in my process. Damn it. Okay, yeah, so about 6 months ago, I was...
Shocking.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Enchanté.
Bonjour. Je t'aime. Je t'aime.
Bonsoir.
Au revoir. No, not yet. Not yet. I have a question, guys.
Bonsoir.
No, not bonsoir.
Good afternoon.
No, c'est
good
bonjour. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Well, how do you say
Bonjour.
good afternoon?
Bonjour.
How do you say good day?
Bonjour.
Those are different words. Bonjour afternoon.
Oh la la.
Bonjour, je t'aime. Voilà, tout est dit.
How
So,
do you say good?
good is bon.
Good.
Bon.
Well, bon afternoon to you.
Bon après-midi.
Bon afternoon.
Do you need special French lessons? Because I can help you.
Yes, he does.
Oh, yeah. I can help you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a real questions. I was wondering, how do you prepare for your role? Like, do you need a lot of time to memorize your lines? Do you need to get into a special mood before? How does your process work before shooting a scene?
Yours is longer than mine, so you go ahead.
Yes, it is. So is my process.
Is that what you call it?
That reminds me of a part where we were shooting a scene, sorry, quick non sequitur, then I'll go back to your question. We were shooting a scene with DJ Qualls where he's talking about being bit in the process, and he kept going, where's that? And he's like, huh? Like he didn't know yet that we were messing around during takes, and we're like, where's your process? And he was getting so messed up. Okay, so, back on track.
It's that little space.
My process is longer. and that I spend many days letting it. Now that there's nothing I
Keep
can say.
digging, man. Just keep digging.
When I first
Got a hold of your process and
Yes.
really.
when I first worked out what kind of process made me the happiest, I spend many days preparing for that moment.
We should not be allowed to raise children.
I'm not allowed. That's why Jen ships me away. She's like, go. She's going to be in Pittsburgh.
Go deal with your process.
I'm going to be as literal as possible. When I get the script, let's say we start filming July 10th. When I get the script of Supernatural season 14, episode 1, as soon as I get it, I read it, and I read it every day, basically, on the treadmill. And I just sort of do you all have these movies, and maybe Supernatural is one of the TV shows that you'll have this with, but where you can watch an episode in your head without it even playing in the background. Like, I can watch Dumb and Dumber right now. I could sit down, close my eyes, and watch the entire movie of Dumb and Dumber. Laugh when I'm supposed to laugh, cry when I'm supposed to cry, and it doesn't have to be playing. And so this is a weird kind of roundabout way of saying, I want that to happen for Supernatural before I film it. Like, before we start filming day 1 of season 1, I already want to have watched it in my head 100 times. It helps me then, in a weird way, even though it's cemented in my head, it helps me shape it more. It helps me change it more. It helps me, preparation, be able to bob and weave. And they say that with a lot of things. It's all about your process. It's all about repetition. For me, it's all about repetition, and then I feel more comfortable changing it. If I don't have that repetition, then it makes me nervous to then be asked to change it, because I'm like, I don't even know what my foundation is. So how can I ask to change the awning of the roof when I don't even know what the walls look like? So I like to get the foundation of the walls and then kind of decorate when I'm on set. I love to decorate my process.
There's so many metaphors there that I lost count. Which is why I let him go first, because
Wow.
This is
wow. Wow.
I'm the opposite. I wait till the night before we start shooting a script. No matter what time we wrap that day, I go home, I sit on the couch, I get my script, I get about
your process.
2 fingers of bourbon.
Do that with your fingers right now.
And I read the script once, and then I show up the next day and do it.
And you're good. Okay. Merci.
Merci, merci beaucoup.
De rien.
De rien. Oh, you're so good.
Oh, girl, you know I got you. Thank you. Hi.
What kind of scenes do you like to do the best on the show? You like to do fights or writing a baby or emotional stuff, or what are your favorites?
I like emotional stuff.
You would. I like the lighter, the comedic stuff. I like trying to find comedy in. A lot of times, finding comedy where maybe there isn't comedy. Those are the kind of things I like to do.
I don't love exposition. Do y'all know what exposition is? That refers to, a lot of y'all do, for those of you who don't.
I believe it is an old wooden ship.
Exposition is kind of the scene or the collection of scenes in a movie or a TV show where the actors are really telling you what the show's about. It's like, hey, Dean, look at this. According to the lore, blah, 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 so get this. And then turns out they're in Akron, Ohio, and then now the audience knows, oh, they're fighting this, that does this, and that it already did that, so they're gonna go research, without us just looking at the camera going like, okay, we're about to go to Akron to research a Rougarou who just, so those are really difficult to do because they're not really ever about anything other than just letting the audience know literally what you're about to let the audience know. Those are fine, and they're very necessary for a working actor to know how to do. It's more technique-y. But the comedy scenes make me really nervous. I love watching them. And I do like the emotional scenes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. So I was wondering, since you've had Misha, Jensen, and Rich direct you, what were some of the differences between all three of them? And just sort of like different quirks and stuff.
He's right next to me.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's a good question.
Pretend I'm not here.
So Jensen, I know the best, I've known the longest, and he and I have such a rapport while acting with each other that I think it was he knows how I work more than anybody, and vice versa. And so he knew exactly what to say to me, when, how. By the time he had directed me, we had acted, when was your first episode, 6? So we had already done 100 hours of television together. Misha, I was...
Let's keep in mind, we kind of direct each other on a daily basis anyway. If I'm in a scene with him and he's doing something, I'm like, you know what, try that line a different way. Or hit this line a little bit more, or this joke, and he'll do the same for me. He'll be like, it was funnier you said it. It's funnier the first time you said it. Do it that way again. I'll be like, got it, okay. So we're constantly watching each other's back as it is, and it wasn't much different than that for me when I was directing him.
Yeah.
I was just kind of doing what I normally do.
And all the directing, all the nuts and bolts of directing that he did without me there was without, when he's casting or building the sets or scouting locations or picking which prop to use or which way to shoot it, that didn't involve me anyways. My involvement was kind of between action and cut, and he and I already had that relationship for 5 years strong.
And there's also not a lot of directing, he and I, from any director that comes on. I mean, they pretty much let us do what we do,
They don't try to fix it if it's not broke,
Right, I mean, they might throw, somebody might throw a suggestion out of like, hey, what if you went over, what if you crossed the room and picked up a prop and did the line over there? Okay, yeah, let me figure out a way to make that work. But mostly they know that when we show up, we're gonna have our characters down, our lines down, and pretty much have the idea of what we want to do, and they just kind of let us do our thing. So
and they trust, I think directors talk to other, if you haven't directed Supernatural and you're about to, you'll call somebody who's directed Supernatural. I think the people who direct us understand that Jared and Jensen care about Sam and Dean and Supernatural more than they ever possibly could, and so they know that we're not trying to glorify ourselves or sink a ship. They know we've put in the work that we need to do. We've done our routine the way we need to do it. We're going to show up on time. We're going to hit our marks. We're going to know our lines. We're going to have done whatever we need to do to get ourselves ready to be Sam and Dean Winchester. So they trust us, and that's awesome. With Misha, I spent most of my time trying to figure out how to mess with him. So it was difficult to pay attention to his direction because I was trying to steal his keys, break his director's chair, mess up his script, hit him in the face with a pie and break his nose. It was a lot. So I had an agenda during his episode.
Well, and his directing experience was less directing, more survival. So there wasn't much time for directing.
Yeah.
And he was more worried about whether or not his house was on fire.
And then Spate, I believe the first episode he directed, he wasn't in whatsoever. And so that was a unique experience as well. Well, the Misha episode was also weird because I don't think Jensen and I even had a scene together. Or maybe we had 1 or 2 scenes together. So it wasn't a classic Supernatural episode, which made it different altogether. And then with Spate, he came on as a director, not as a director-actor. So he was more because Jensen's behind the camera when he came to direct, and then he'd have to come be in the scene with us. And then, so Spate was more a classic style director, had done his homework, was committed to it. But the funny thing is that with Spate, when he came to direct, I'd already known him for 10 years or something. And you can hear him from the video village, which is where the directors sit with their headphones on and they're watching the episode. And there'd be a scene, he'd be like, hey, Sam, do that line again. And I'd be like, Sam? Sam? Richard, like, we've stopped trains together in Europe. Call me Jared. Like, my name is not Sam. And so then he'd walk on set.
He would do that off stage.
Yes.
Like, hey, you guys, listen, I just want to talk to you about, so what I'm thinking is for this scene that we're going to shoot in an hour or so, if, you know what, actually, Sam, just run that line real quick.
Sam? Jared?
Yeah, right.
Jared!
You know what I mean.
I've been to Brazil with your family. Like, you don't have to call me by my character name. And so I would start calling him director. I'd be like, hey, director, what do you think about that performance?
Which I think secretly he loves.
He does love it. It was all unique. They were all great. And I'll happily work for them anytime.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Is there any odd routines or idiosyncrasies that you or any other cast members do or have before filming a scene?
Yeah, I can think of one. Tomo, who played Gadriel,
Tomo Pennigan.
he does this thing where they're like, okay, you know, there's a certain sequence of events that happens before we actually say action. It's like, okay, lock it up. Okay, we're on a bell, so you hear the bell ring. That means the sound saying everybody be quiet, basically. And it's like, okay, lock it up and roll sound. And then the guy comes in with a marker, and he, 27 Apple, take one. That does the clapper. And Tomo, during that process, he's going like this.
And he's a big dude.
Cut to Jared and I, we're like this.
Is he gonna hit us?
So I don't know what that is. I've never asked him because I've never built up the courage to. I'm afraid he'll whip out a hatchet. So that's one.
Yeah, I think if I were to say that I have...
David does something too. Hayden Jones does. I forget what he does.
He gets the catch look. He goes into catch face a bit before it's action.
He also stays in his British accent when the camera's on rolling. Which, it actually, I think it helps all of us. But it certainly helps him because if he stays in it, then it's just easier and it becomes, he doesn't have to think about it as much when he's performing. So he just kind of stays in that accent. But he does do like some of those acting tricks to get you ready for the scene. Yeah, there's a few. Does Pellegrino do something?
God. He does a few things every now and again. He'll either, you can see him running it in his head a little bit, like he'll kind of do this. What's fun about working with Pellegrino is he'll discover some stuff sometimes in the blocking or in between takes even. Like there's the scene where he was, I guess, being levitated over the bowl by Rowena. And so he's sitting there, he's in this harness, and you kind of just, they're like, okay, we're gonna change the lenses from a 50 mil, which is a basic vision, to 100 mil, which is a close-up. And he's kind of stuck there, so you kind of saw him, reaching down to the bowl to try and figure out, to really get in touch with his surroundings, and then you see him incorporate it into the next take. It's kind of fun to watch.
I just thought of something that you do. What?
Make jokes and trying to make everybody laugh?
No. You may not be aware, you're probably aware of this, but when you do it, you're not. If we're in the middle of a scene and it's his line, and it's happened to all of us, and he's just checked out, and then there's this odd silence, and then all of a sudden he realizes that it's his line, and it's his turn to speak, and there's now been this kind of odd pregnant pause. As if there was something in my throat, he goes, and then he says his line. As if that made up for the, Now I'll speak. Every time, if he forgets a line, you can guarantee there's going to be a throat clear before he delivers his words.
There are certainly those moments, because every now and again you're shooting a scene, it's like 6 pages long, so every take is 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and there are 5 people, and you're not, it's like Rowena is talking to Gabriel over there in the corner while you're sitting.
It's an exposition scene too, so there's not emotion, there's no comedic timing needed.
And you're not part of the conversation that's happening in the script, like everybody's in the middle editor's bunker, and there are 3 different people talking, and you're kind of off to the side. And you're like, okay, I know my cue line, but I can't really hear what they're saying anyways, so I'm just gonna... And then you'll just notice that there's a pause, and some of the crew guys are like looking at you, and you're like, so Dean!
That's it. And I always know, because sometimes there'll be a pregnant pause, and he'll be doing something, be like taking a beat. Like, he's actually still in the scene, maybe it's, he's doing something with prop or whatever, and he's meaning to take that extra beat, and then he'll say his dialogue. But I know that if he clears his throat before he says those words, he forgot it was his turn to talk.
You stick your gum to the roof of your mouth, probably before. Yeah? Well, like, you chew gum, and then you can stick it to the roof of your mouth. You can kind of see it in the throat. Like, you do this, or inside of you're usually a roof of the mouth, aren't you? You're a side? You can kind of see. You can see just a little bit.
By the way, for 13 seasons, just so you know, both Sam and Dean have had gum in their mouth. In every scene.
Probably.
Just to prove my English teacher wrong. Jensen, I can tell you're chewing gum. Oh, really?
Watch these 13 seasons.
Watch these 13 seasons, Mrs. Patterson. Karen, if that is your name.
In your opinion, what could men who want to be better allies to the Me Too movement, and what have you two yourselves done personally to become better allies for the Me Too movement?
That's a great question. Thank you. We live in a pretty awesome time, and as much as we have that's still very obviously wrong with our society, both with the way the LGBTQ are treated, to the way women a lot are treated, to the way minorities are treated, to the way even people who don't have as high an income as the next guy or gal are treated. We have a lot of room to grow. I will say this, and maybe this is my optimism coming through, but I think we as a society, even just the fact that we're here today talking about it, we're talking about it and we're listening. And a few of the people I read, I've run across a lot. He and I have both run across a lot of the guys in Hollywood. Not that we were best friends with them, but we've auditioned for people. We've had a drink with this person, not knowing. We've been friends of friends and crossed paths in our years in Hollywood. And you hear their apologies, you read their apologies. And some of my favorite mea culpas that I've read, I hate to say my favorite, but some of the ones that read the most true to me, not like a canned apology, like, hey, sorry this happened, I think it was a misunderstanding. Like, that's not really an apology. I think I can't recall who exactly, but I read a few that were like, I realize now, and looking back at my initial statement, that I need to shut up and I need to listen and keep my ears open and treat people as human beings and really listen to what people are trying to say. I'm gonna look back. So I think it's difficult to it's almost like as much as the AKF, just to sidetrack for a little bit, as much as the AKF movement has been so special to me, and I hear person to person it's been special to them as well, I personally feel like you really need a genuine connection with another person to really change. And so I just try and keep both with suicide prevention and anxiety and depression and mental health, and with the Me Too and the Time's Up movements, I just try to listen to people and let them know that I see them as a human, and I have no desire to hurt them or increase their pain or their tumult or torture. So I hope I seem emotionally available. I certainly would like to be emotionally available to people like you or whomever. So I was just trying to tell people to really, what's the platinum rule? Treat others how you would want to be treated, you know? So I try to live by that. I fall short, obviously, but I try to do my damnedest. So I would say the same thing to a friend.
I would say that this is something that I've kind of always lived by, or at least aspired to live by, and that's lead by example. Sure, you can say things and you can call people out on things, but I think at the end of the day, just showing and being the person that you want to be and aspire to be, and that you would make people proud of. I think trying to do that is something that I've always kept in the back of my head, and that's just something that my parents taught me early on. My dad said, look, don't tell people what to do, show them what to do. And so I try to do that, and that's what I would say to other people. I mean, look, if somebody's being inappropriate, sure, if you feel like you need to say something, then say something. But if you don't, you know, if it's maybe your boss and you don't want to, you know, cause an issue or something like that, or get fired or whatever it is, then maybe you just start leading by example. And I think that has power. Actions are certainly more powerful. So, but it is I think it's an amazing time right now, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Thank you.
Any excuse to make fun of me.
He's wearing a suit. Like, we wear suits too. And there was another one. Somebody sent me this GIF. It's fresh in my head because someone sent it to me. And it's me. GIF.
Oh, really? They sent you some peanut butter? How was it?
Tasty.
Was it smooth or crunchy?
Crunchy.
Crunchy? Obviously crunchy.
Obviously crunchy.
Yeah, who's going to go smooth?
No, know what I mean. It's a scene where Sam and Dean are sitting on the hood of the Impala eating burgers, and I had a drink on my leg, and I guess it started to fall, and I reached for it and didn't catch it, and then tried to play it off and look back at Jensen. And then the one, it was Gabrielle talking to you, and I couldn't get my line out, so I just went, It's fun when other people break, but it's fun when stuff just legitimately goes wrong. Like the cup falling off my leg and seeing reactions and stuff like that. There's some fun ones.
Yeah, there could be, and I still think there should be. The only problem is that the editors are busy working on the actual episode.
And it always get printed, I suppose.
That's true. But I still think that there could, any given season, there could be a 2-hour blooper reel.
Pittsburgh, Jason and I rehearsed that for 3 weeks. I just can't get the end. I don't know.
Pittsburgh, say hi to Kristen. Kristen, say hi to Pittsburgh.
Hi, Pittsburgh.
Kristen, you're the last question. So we like.
I think she got that.
You heard the song? Okay, good. So make sure it's good.
Although with Jason singing, I know to understand the confusion.
That's true. 3 weeks.
So I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have 2 little kids. They're about the same age as your kids, 4 and 2. And so my day is full of Supernatural when they're napping, Paw Patrol, Play-Doh, dance parties, that kind of stuff. So when in the rare time that you have with them, what kind of just stupid, silly, get through the day kind of stuff do you do? You can dance.
Great question. It occurred to me that Supernatural watched during kids' nap time should be called Supernatural.
That's his one ear.
That took 6 months.
11 years. So we have a chicken coop at our house, and we have a vegetable garden. And so when I get time with the kids and Jen's gone, or maybe the baby's napping and Jen's trying to nap with the baby or something, we'll look for bugs and lizards. We caught a frog the other day. His name was Jumpy. And so they want to pick the frog up. We caught a tarantula at our house and picked it up. And it wasn't poisonous. But my kids love creatures, and they love also Paw Patrol and Wildcrafts and stuff like that. So they want to. What's bad is that in Texas right now, I feel like an awful dad because they're like, you know, the kids are Odette's napping and Jen is taking a shower, working out or something. And so it's noon in Texas, and the kids are like, "Daddy, let's go chase bugs." I'm like, "You chase bugs because it's 100 degrees outside, and I don't want to go outside." I'm like, "I'll watch from the window. Y'all go have fun." But they love bug catching, so there's a lot of lizard chasing. We call them doo-doo bugs or roly-polies. So a lot of touching of bugs goes on in my house. Saw a snake the other day. We didn't want to catch that one. Good times.
It depends on which kid I'm dealing with and whether or not I can remember their name. But
Too soon.
Too soon?
Too soon.
Too soon. Okay. But let's see. So JJ was at camp, and my wife had taken Arrow to the store, and so it was just me and Zeppelin at home, and I did what you know all dads should do. I put on a Led Zeppelin vinyl and sat in my leather chair in my living room with Zeppelin on my lap, and we just sat there and stared out the back window and listened to Zeppelin. That was kind of cool.
Thank you so much.
That was it. Last question. Ladies and gentlemen of Pittsburgh, Jensen and Jared Padalecki.
Jaw-dropping and gorgeous come to mind when describing Jared Padalecki from Supernatural.
Thank you, thank you.
His muscles have just been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Every time you watch the show, it's like, pow, there's more muscle. And so that's what makes him hot.
I think I'm a kind of a goofy, nerdy kind of guy, but I'm comfortable with who I am, and I guess that's what they say is, no, I don't consider myself, no.
Not only is he a seriously beautiful man, but he's romantic too. He recently popped the question to his longtime girlfriend.
We were in Paris, me and my fiance Sandy. We went to Paris. I bought some champagne and some like champagne glasses and sort of popped the question. She's very supportive of me and she's very into me and I'm very into her. So that's kind of when I feel like I'm hot stuff.
The smoking hot 6'4" actor reveals what's sexy about playing Demon Buster Sam Winchester on Supernatural.
His demon powers, you know, they've sort of gone away, but it's fun to have Sam be a badass.